What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Dylan and Mitch of the Bottom Line View once again for another Raw review, May 8th, 2017. And quite frankly, I'm not looking forward to reviewing this because this show from England was absolute garbage. That's why you can tell from the title. What do we do to deserve this, honestly?
Are you sure you were watching the same show as me, bro? I saw Finn Balor. I saw not Shinsuke. I saw a commercial of him. I saw Seth Rollins. I saw Samoa Joe. I saw all the boys out there having 20-minute long matches. I don't know what you mean, bro. I thought this show was, hey.
I didn't know you were Cesar in Canada. I didn't know they had a Cesar 2.0 there. Cesar probably loved this show. He'd probably go crazy tonight. We might even see him. I don't know. But me personally, I was not digging this show tonight at all on any level, to the point where I was listening to Frank Ocean constantly throughout the show. Not even like commercial break or the cruiserweights. No, everything. Because the show was shit. So,
can I say something before you start the recap?
Okay.
Dylan, what video did I release today? Have you been paying attention to the videos I release?
I have. You just released an Attitude Era review.
Okay, so I released an Attitude Era review where I gave that show a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Do you want me to describe to you what happened on that show?
Proceed.
So, on that show, as I'm opening my notes right now, in the main event, we had Stone Cold versus the Stooges.
Ooh.
We had Kane finding out his DNA test if he was the son of Paul Bearer. We had Austin almost go to jail. We had the New Age Outlaws versus Rock and Owen Hart. Okay. We have freaking what else we have? We have Al Snow, who's under a blanket walking around the arena with the King. We have Sable and Mark Marrow. We have an Edge vignette. We have the Val Venus debut.
Whoa!
And that was in one show.
That was one show. Holy shnikes.
And we have tonight. Can you name one thing that happened on this show? Other than, hey!
Hey! I can name you about 10,000 matches that happened on the show. Nothing in detail, just knowing that there was a bunch of matches on the show. Holy shit. This show felt like 10 hours. I know Mitch watched it, fast forwarded it. He was watching the Penguins game, but holy shit.
And that game was shit too. So this, I don't know what was worse. Probably the Raw.
It was probably Raw. You still have a game 7, okay?
That's going to be hype, but
we can never get hype for Raw, or at least the show, because it's awful on so many levels. Let's go ahead and get started because at some point we have to review this. So the show starts up promisingly enough for 2 minutes. Surprisingly enough, Dean Ambrose is walking backstage. He gets a phone call. It's Kurt Angle. He's like, oh, I didn't know this was Kurt Angle or whatnot. Did you get your wife? Or, oh, your wife saw the photos. A little bit of a comedy shtick, whatever. But I like the creativity in it. And then the fact that Angle is not going to be in England tonight. They need somebody to be GM. So Ambrose gets told that he's going to make a special announcement when he goes out to the ring. He even tells some people in the back that to hit my music so I can go out there and make this big announcement. It kind of felt a little bit of a different feel to it. I like that. So for 2 minutes, we started off well. And then everything started to fall apart.
Bro, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm reading the description of our video. And at one point, you put the ungodly long tag team turmoil.
Bro,
I'm sitting here laughing while you're describing this segment. But this segment was actually one of the better parts of the show.
For 2 minutes, it was nice change.
Because at least they started the show off and they had something to grab us with. You know what I mean? So I have Ambrose on the phone, and it looks like Ambrose is going to be the GM, but this is obviously their excuse. We didn't sign Kurt Angle to a world tour contract, so he can only go to shows in the U.S. That's basically what they're doing here. So Ambrose is the GM tonight, so it has some intrigue to it, and I like how it like starts off with him not in the ring. Because how many times do we see an in-ring promo? A guy comes out with his entrance. We see an in-ring promo to start the show. At least we saw, backstage, someone walking, kind of like they did like with SmackDown a couple months ago, because SmackDown hasn't been good for a while, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it got a different, interesting point across with that segment, because it could have easily just been like, oh, another phone call in the ring. Oh, Kurt Angle, thank you. At least it was somewhere different. By the way, we'll get to that tag team turmoil. It was, oh my God. Anyways, so Dean finally gets his entrance. He goes out. He greets London. He says Kurt Angle is not here tonight. He said his dog is sick or something. So, but Angle has informed him he's going to be the general manager of Monday Night Raw tonight. Enter The Miz. Comes out there. He says, whoa, wait a minute. This is not how it works. He said Raw would be an absolute chaos if Dean Ambrose was the GM. So he says he has a detailed plan. He's been named the assistant general manager, co-general manager with Dean Ambrose, because Stephanie McMahon gave him the honors of being GM. So I don't know if we're going to do this another GM. What is Stephanie's role? COO shit again, but whatever. So Dean,
she's the commish.
Commish. That's what I couldn't think of the word. Miz reminds everybody that, you know what, last week he beat Seth freaking Rollins and Finn Balor to become #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Yada, yada, yada. This segment goes on forever. Literally is one of the longest segments. They keep going back and forth about their IC title feud and whatnot, and then we hear Raw! As one of the best things on Raw, Braun Strowman comes out with a sling. Now, it was reported earlier today this man's going to be out for 4 to 8 weeks. Son of a bitch. One of the only entertaining things on the show is going for at least...
When you think it can't get any worse?
When
WWE just... It gets worse, bro. It gets worse. I mean, Braun Strowman's been one of the most entertaining parts of Raw, one of the freshest parts of Raw, one of the things that we're looking forward to every week. And now the guy's hurt. Now, I understand he's going to be on TV because he was on TV tonight. I would think he's at least going to be on for most of the time. He might not be wrestling, which is fine, which might actually help him, though. Because maybe they'll try different things with him, and they just won't put him out there in a 20-minute freaking tag team turmoil match. So it might help him. But I actually like that he had the sling. They kind of sold that he had an injury there. But this segment was freaking terrible. I don't even know if you're done recapping it.
No.
This segment took forever, and it was so boring. It accomplished absolutely zero, Dylan. Like nothing happened in this segment at all. And all it did was put me to sleep. All it did was like me count down the minutes until the Penguins intermission was over. Because I was going back and forth, right? So I was watching the recording of Raw during the intermissions and then after. So during the first intermission, I watched this. And I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Like Dean Ambrose comes out, he announces this. Miz comes out, he announces that. Like they're going back and forth on who's the GM. And then you have Braun Strowman come out and he does nothing. He talks about Roman Reigns. You get a pop because he said Brock Lesnar's name. Like, the segment was fucking terrible. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It was not entertaining. It accomplished nothing in storyline. The guy, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just, it gets to a point where the show is so bad that not even a 10-year-old, like 4-year-old could enjoy the show.
Who enjoys the show? Who is the show being targeted for?
Dylan, this show drew, like, people were, these dirt sheet writers last week were shocked that the great duo of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins did not draw amazing numbers in the main event. They drew less than 3 million people. I'd be shocked if this drew over 3 million people. This show was freaking terrible, man.
What did this show accomplish to get 3 million viewers? Like, how did it even get...
3 million is terrible, though. Like, think about TNA in 2010 had 2.5 million viewers. TNA.
TNA. Eric's gonna get on. I don't think he's watching, but anyways.
With Dixie freaking Carter as the owner of the company, bro.
That's a whole different story.
My goodness, man. Jesus, Dylan.
Let's get this opening segment out of the way. So Braun Strowman, he's in a sling. He's like, he gets thank you Strowman chants, but he says, I took the big dog out of payback, but as long as Roman Reigns can still walk, I'm not finished with him. So you can call Kurt, you can call Stephanie, do whatever, but I want a chance at Brock Lesnar after the Roman Reigns feud. Kalisto comes out, says, you know what? I'm not done with you, Strowman.
Who's that jumping out the sky?
Arriba, Mysterio. Here we go. That was a banger theme back in the day.
Does he not look like Rey Mysterio?
With this new mask, he absolutely looks like him. I'm like, oh my God.
Another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but it's just so hard to listen to this recap because the recap, the show is so bad. So Kalisto, or not Kalisto, but the crowd response. You know how it's taped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss that at all. The crowd, the freaking the piped in sound effects of the cheering and the booing and it seemed like nobody was cheering during this segment.
I actually got told, I was looking on Twitter, apparently security told fans not to be loud at these shows tonight. They actually told them to be quiet.
Because it's in London, that's why.
They got to be all proper and fucking shit. I was like, this crowd is ass. It's absolute ass. And they only come there twice a year, so. But that's weird. Anyways, they keep going back and forth. Strowman says, I could beat you with one arm tied behind my back. And Dean Ambrose is like, why don't we do it? Because you only have one arm. So, Kalisto, Braun Strowman later tonight, because Strowman has one arm and he's injured. That's good. Whatever. Dean makes the first match of the night. Miz versus Finn Balor. You're going to see a recurring theme in this show. There's so many fucking matches. There's no words to describe how
did Finn Balor have to do with anything in this segment?
No. It didn't make any sense.
Why is Finn Balor wrestling The Miz? Am I missing something?
We're all missing something. Let's go to the chat because I want to kill myself. Trey Guest, longest show ever. Seemed like nothing, or it seemed like it was never going to end. Nothing happened. 0-0-0 out of 10 show. I can agree with that. WWE boy, tag team turmoil took almost most of the fucking show. Yeah, it was cancer. We got Raheem Isaac saying Rey Mysterio Jr. Legend. WWE boy says Kalisto needs a hip hop theme. A theme that can go with this character, though. Not just a beat, also a theme with lyrics. So we're really just going to make Rey Mysterio 2.0.
No, but Kalisto's beyond saving. This guy, he looks like an idiot. Look at his freaking... His gimmick is terrible. And then he just gets squashed every match. Holy.
This man was metaphorically and physically thrown into a dumpster 3 weeks ago.
You might as well rename the guy R. Kalisto.
Ooh, I mean, he had an important role in the show too. So, Jesus Christ. Finn Balor, Miz is the first match of the night. First match of the night. These guys go back and forth. Who gives a shit? It's a match for the marks. Miz pushes.
Speaking of marks, I think one of them wants to talk about his boy Finney.
Ooh, he might be getting there soon. Finn gets pushed into the referee by the Miz when they're going into it. They're having a little bit of a fight. And the Miz is like, you know what? I can't stand for this. You just touched a WWE official. Not going to happen. I'm disqualifying you. So the Miz wins this by disqualification. He's leaving. Dean Ambrose is like, we're not going to have that happen. That's not how it works on the show. The match is restarted. Finn beats the crap out of Miz. Hits the sling blade, all that stuff. Hits with the coup de grace. Finn Balor wins the match. What did this accomplish?
Why did Finn win the match?
Considering we did nothing afterwards with Finn Balor, this made no sense.
Why did the IC number one contender lose this match?
I'll tell you what, Mitch. Caesar is here to tell you why, my man. Okay.
Caesar, I think your mask is on backwards.
That's not the issue. The issue at hand is Finn Balor versus The Miz, okay? So, what a great match this was. I mean, by the way, the whole show was absolutely tremendous. I mean, the wrestling, top-notch, 6-star matches. I mean, DM would be so happy with this show. I mean, you got Finn Balor, Miz. You got Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe. Oh, my God. That's such a good match. Who else was on the show? I mean, just so many matches. The tag team turmoil.
Caesar, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can you describe Maurice? What do you think of Maurice?
Ugh, I can't. No, I can't even stand. Oh God, Maurice. Ugh, it's disgusting. You know, like, but you know what's not disgusting? I like seeing two men in their underwear fighting it out in the ring. I'm creaming at that tag team turmoil match.
So when you're watching Finny, do you like to refer to him as Finny?
Yeah, I call him Finny. I call him yeah.
So you're marking for Finny. Are you dreaming that he's with you while you're watching the match?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like him and just with him and me and him, we would go so well together. I mean, we just go hand in hand together. It was so great, so great. Caesar loves the great wrestlers of Finn and Seth Rollins. I mean, main eventers, of course. Brock, who was that guy? You know. I love the show. Absolutely love the show.
We'll get to you later there, Caesar. But how can you defend Finn winning this match over The Miz?
Because Finn is great. I mean, he deserves to be on top. The fact that he is not even in the main event right now is scary. It really is. That's why they don't have the ratings. It really is.
So do you think if they had Finn versus Brock, it would boost the ratings up?
Absolutely. I mean, Finn and Brock is such a relatable match to get to. I mean, you got the skinny guy coming up against Brock Lesnar. I mean, he only shows up twice a year, you know? We need the Finn Balor to stand up for our country.
Our country? He's not even from the United States.
He needs to stand up for us, okay? As a minority of marks, he needs to stand up for our country.
All right, Caesar. Before you leave, let's just do it real quick. Hey! All right, thank you, Caesar.
Thank you. I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Man, that Caesar guy just takes over all the time. Where am I when he comes on? I mean, it blows my mind.
I almost feel like it's your alternative personality.
Yeah, it's like split personality. I just phase in and phase out. I mean, Paul Heyman comes into the house. I don't get it. I don't honestly. I'm still looking for culprits. Anyway,
WWE Boy says I'm still waiting for Mitch versus Dylan no holds barred street fight. Yes. What you should be waiting for is Mitch versus freaking Caesar. Last man standing flaming table match.
That would be a banger. I tell you what, Caesar's wrestling.
Knowing Caesar's wrestling style, he would probably try and go through the second rope and put himself through the flaming table.
I mean, he's from Japan, Ring of Honor, Mexico. I mean, he's been wrestling for 15 years. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah, he hasn't even made it there yet.
No, he just started in NXT. I mean, that's cream of the crop right there. Anyway. Yeah, give it up for Caesar. He just made it to NXT. I heard he might be getting a prize here soon. I don't know. So let's get into this next segment here. We actually have something enjoyable. Alexa Bliss, but in a very confusing segment.
Bro, her butt. I don't care about the rest of the segment.
Segment? Ass. I'm focusing.
Wait, which segment is this? Is this the match or is this?
This is before the match. This is the
Nia one?
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. Go ahead.
So Nia Jax is backstage and she sees Alexa Bliss and she's like, "So, you went at everybody in the women's locker room last night except for me. Why?" And Alexa says, "You know what? I don't know what you're talking about." You know, she's trying to back off the idea, but Nia's like, "You know what? Do you mean what you meant by, yeah, I'm a great wrestler?" And she's like, of course. And Jax tries to get a title shot, and Alexa's like, you know what? I don't make matches. I'm not here to make matches. And Kurt's not here this week. But I bet when we get there next week, we'll figure it out. And Nia Jax says, well, Until then, you've got a new best friend. So basically, Nia Jax is like, I want the title shot, and I'm going to mess with you until you give me it, I'm guessing. Or they're going to be some kind of friend partnership deal. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I care, honestly. I think that's the biggest thing is I don't care.
For me, I think it's interesting. At least it's something. But I just don't understand why they continue to go with the friend storyline. Like, so now Nia is Alexa's friend. Like, so apparently all you have to do to be Nia's friend is just compliment her.
Maybe she's not like most girls. She just behaves.
She is not like most girls. Maybe she's been bullied her whole life. Maybe, she does have 13 reasons why, and maybe you do need to compliment her so, she doesn't kill herself. So, there you go. Maybe Nia is you just need to compliment her, and you got her as your tag team partner. That's what I would do if I was Alexa. But if I was Nia, and you never know with Nia, we don't know which way she swings, and Alexa's bum. Come on.
I might have gotten line of the year for the cheesiest comment, but I'll take it. We get back from commercial. Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. Mickie James gets no reaction from this crowd, and I honestly don't understand why these crowds don't care about Mickie James.
Because why? Why would we care?
They haven't cared about her since her return, though. Is my problem.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a character. She's not in any storyline. Like, why do we care? Because
it's depressing. It's depressing.
It is depressing, but like, even if she's a legend and everything, we shouldn't care unless they're giving us a reason to care. There are not many wrestlers that I watch today and I actually care about, and that's very sad. There's only like 3.
Bray Wyatt, Miz.
I'll count Reigns and Strowman as 1.
Strowman, okay. Rusev, there's about 4. Okay, so there's 4.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's basically it.
Oh yeah, Carmella.
Oh yeah, you got to add Carmella on that list. I'll say Becky Lynch for mine. So there's 5.
Oh, okay. WWE boy backs me up. He says I love Alexa's ass. Raheem says, "Yep."
Well, how could you not? The marks. We'll get to them, but if you're a regular person,
you're talking about the people that said Lana's vignettes are scary.
How does that doesn't even add in an equation? Like in any universe, it's like
think about that. Lana's vignette where she is dancing on a chair. It's very scary. Yeah. And Maurice can't wrestle, so they don't like her either.
I hate life. Anyways, so they go back and forth. Nobody cares about this match. Alexa Bliss wins with a she just yanks down Mickie James for the win. I think it was off a distraction. I couldn't have cared less. But Bliss comes back in after she wins and starts beating up Mickie James after the match. Bayley went for a dive on Nia Jax on the outside, and she's trying to help her out. So Bayley and Alexa Bliss go backstage, and Nia Jax basically kills Mickie James. I don't know how I feel about this. I guess it's something, but honestly, just like most of the show, I don't care. Moving on. Ambrose is backstage. He's like, you know what? I've gotten the whole show written up. It's kind of weird to hear like a wrestler on TV say, yeah, I've written all the show. I don't know. Kayfabe doesn't exist. But
no, what he's referring to is that there are matches in place.
Yeah, I know. It seems
it's not like that the show is actually written.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird to hear a wrestler.
Okay.
But Miz is like, wait a minute. I'm co-GM. How are you going to write this show without me? How are you going to make these matches without me? Says, no way that's going to happen. I have a Miz TV booked, which, God damn it, there's no freaking Miz TV on here. I would have loved that. But Dean says it's canceled. Ambrose says he'll take on anybody because Miz is trying to challenge him, and says, you know what, Miz is like, you know what, Dean, you're getting a match with Bray Wyatt tonight. Again, how many times have we seen Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt? 15,000 times. Whatever.
Can we give Bray Wyatt something better? This guy, come on, man. This guy has the best character in like 10 years, and we're not going to give him something good.
Well, and I'm confused because last week we ended the show with Bray Wyatt taking out Finn Balor, and they had no interaction this week. How does that add up?
It's so Finn Balor. It is so sad that we have Bray Wyatt and The Miz. Both of these guys could be star. Like if they were pluck them in 1999, and these guys would both be stars, and we'd be looking at them totally differently. But instead, they're in 2017, where we got terrible writing, terrible talent around them, and we also have fans that all they care about is work rate. So I mean, I'm just pissed off.
Not a good match, man. Oh my god!
How do we not give these guys better stuff? Like Dylan, how can you not? How can you defend
I would broke them to the moon. I mean, they're great talents, but this company doesn't understand what 2 + 2 is. Like I don't know what they think the answer is, but it's definitely not 4 to them.
Did they have a raffle? Like, did they put names in a raffle or matches in a raffle that they've already done, and then they pluck them out for every Raw?
I feel like I feel like one time, you know how they used to have those Royal Rumble things where they pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I feel like the next night they're just like, well, we can do this again, and then again, and then again, and then again, until that's what they do. That's what they've accomplished. So we figured out the system. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
What were you saying about Finn Balor?
I said, well, that the Finn Balor, like last week, the end of the show, Bray Wyatt attacked Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And this week they had no interaction. So
that's true. Finn Balor in the show, literally the first or second segment should have been Finn Balor attacking Bray.
Exactly. And
why didn't that happen?
Even if it wasn't the case, we need some kind of interaction. What was the fucking point in last week? Okay,
Dylan, let's answer this. If you were Finn Balor and you've been attacked by Bray Wyatt, would you not at least be looking for Bray Wyatt on this show in real life? If you got attacked by somebody, would you not be trying to attack them back or get payback in some sort of fashion? Now, I understand that Bray Wyatt is a tricky character because you don't always know where he's going to be. So at least would you be asking around to see where Bray Wyatt is?
Well, and even when you're talking about this, this is actually a great segue. The very next segment has what you want. Samoa Joe's backstage with Charlotte Caruso. 10 out of 10, by the way. They're talking. Samoa Joe's like, you know what? At Payback, I hadn't finished what I wanted to get accomplished against Seth Rollins. I'm going to tear every ligament, joint, all that shit. And then Seth Rollins beats up Samoa Joe. Why? Because at the main event of last week, Samoa Joe attacked Seth Rollins.
That actually had some carryover, so that was fine. I mean, it's the same backstage interview attack, but at least it was something. I tried to care about the interview. I tried. I thought that Samoa Joe actually did a good job. I tried to sit through it, but it was just like I didn't care enough. I don't care enough about Rollins. I don't care enough about Joe at this point to really invest. Like, they haven't given me a reason other than a bunch of, attacks.
I don't care about the show, honestly. I've lost all hope in the show. Well, actually, no, I lost hope about a year ago, but now I've really lost hope. There's like a 6 feet under for a grave. Now we're like 100 foot. So fuck this show. Anyways, I mean, at least it made sense in this segment. Seth Rollins wants to beat up Joe. They're going to have a match later tonight. Congratulations. You made match number 500 on the show. But they did something. Braun Strowman.
Honestly, I thought this show was actually booked by Dean because this would literally be what a guy from ROH would book the show as.
Correction, he never wrestled in ROH.
Sorry, whatever the fuck he wrestled in.
I don't fucking care. Braun versus Kalisto. Another match we've already seen. And it happened 2 weeks ago, by the way. Braun's like, I'm not going to wrestle this match. I have one arm. Like, it's stupid. And he's not accepting the match because Roman Reigns is a pathetic coward that won't face him man to man. The bell rings for some reason anyways. And Strowman just decides to kick the crap out of Kalisto. And then
this was the dumbest shit. At the beginning, it was so fucking stupid. They have Kalisto, guys, 5 foot nothing. And Braun Strowman decides to leave and then beat him up by attacking him from behind. Like he couldn't beat him up. Like, are you serious? Braun Strowman's like 7 feet, like 400 pounds.
Well,
and he can't straight up look Kalisto eye to eye and beat him up with one hand. But you have to have Kalisto turn. You have to have Kalisto turn his head so Strowman can get the advantage on him in the fight. Are you kidding me, man?
He had to attack a 5'6" man who weighs at least half his weight. Oh, what a fucking stupid thing. Roman comes out after the disqualification in one of the only decent segments of the night, but in strange booking. Roman gets 3 Superman punches on Braun. They go to the outside. Braun kills the shit out of Roman with a boot. That looked nice. Roman just decides, all right, time to go for it. He keeps attacking Braun's arm. Roman gets a chair, just starts hitting Braun with, into his bad arm. And Braun inexplicably just says, F it. The last 2 months, this guy's been wanting to kill Roman Reigns. And now just walks away. I understand he has an injury, but so does Roman. I thought they wanted to kill each other. This isn't a match, so he can't use this.
I don't understand the booking where they have Strowman be a monster 1 week. Oh, by the way, he wasn't on Raw last week. Neither was Reigns. But besides that point, why did they have him be a monster 1 week and then have him be a pussy the next? And then just repeat the cycle? Why don't we have one guy beat the crap out of the other guy for like 4 weeks straight so that we can actually get somebody over? How are we going to get anybody over by having these guys go back and forth? And then Braun Strowman is having to attack a 5'5" nothing cruiserweight from behind.
I feel like they're blind. I feel like they're actually blind, and then they're just like, we're going to put these wrestlers out there, and I'm going to pick at a piece of paper that has your name on it, and if I pick you, you're getting a segment tonight. You're going to go over. And if I pick you, you're not going over. I
thought that the brawl part was genuinely good.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why Braun walked away and ran through the crowd.
And then there wasn't even a tease of him going like, oh, I will get you back or something. It was just, he's out. He booked it. Like, what?
And I also didn't like that there wasn't a lot of selling in it.
Yeah, that wasn't very good either.
But I was like, at least it's entertaining.
Yeah. It was one of the better segments. And for us to critique it so hard, the fact that this was one of the better segments of the show, you might as well just go die. So, Taz Clark, we're going to some comments here. Longest shit turd of a show. I watched the hockey game even though I don't watch hockey. At least they play with heart and show effort, unlike bitch-ass WWE. Nothing new. Hockey's entertaining. I don't watch hockey all that often, but it's fun. Jeremy Handsome says, when will Samoa Joe turn face? Not for a while.
No.
Yeah, at least for the rest of the year. But they need to
just no. Like, in general, like, why? He doesn't look at all like a face. Like, I don't even know how he would work as a face.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he works. Like, I've never actually really seen him as a face. Come to think of it.
It's going to be a long time.
Long time. Taz Clark back at it again. At least I got to see Charlie Caruso and JoJo. Hashtag thick and hot.
See, he understands. And JoJo is growing on me, bro.
I mean,
that's thick with 2 C's.
2 C's. It is great. Because how she has 2 J's and 2 O's in her, 2 C's. Yes, we work it together. Donnell Clemmings, hope is Alicia Fox Bay. Yes, you're right. Clark says Roman and Braun until SummerSlam. It is the only thing worth of interest. Pretty true.
Yeah, I would say those two and whatever Bray is doing is intriguing, but other than that, I don't care about the rest of the show. Miz sometimes, but like recently, no.
Because they writing for him as shit. Yeah. Braun Strowman versus Rey Mysterio. Yeah, that match happened tonight. If you don't remember, Rey Mysterio returned tonight. No.
Yeah, and Braun had to hit him from behind.
Yeah.
In order to beat him up.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it would be different if it was Ray, though. He's had 15 years of experience. WWE boy. Oh, God. Thoughts on Great Balls of Fire? What the fuck, WWE? The arena for that event should be empty. Funny enough, it's in Dallas. Has to be in fucking
Balls of Fire.
I saw a commercial for this tonight, and I'm thinking it was the first commercial I've seen, and I'm like, so
are you going to the Great Balls of Fire?
I might, because a couple of my friends want me to go. So.
Is this a Raw or SmackDown?
This is a Raw show, unfortunately.
I think that's probably better, to be honest.
Well, because SmackDown's been pretty ass.
But the talent.
Yeah.
The talent.
I might be going only because a bunch of my friends want me to go. It's also during the summer, and I like to have fun in my summers, so those things are kind of cool. But
is this like an official name for like the rest, like for eternity? Like, are they doing this for like the next few years, or is this just a one-off?
I imagine it's what they want to keep, but I don't know if they're gonna like.
I hope it's only a one-off. I hope it's like a one, like just like one
punishment bullshit, or some of the other ones. It's such a stupid name, and I heard them promote it. They're like Great Balls of Fire, and I'm like, oh, God, it's so stupid. Anyways, Jeremy Handsome, AJ Styles versus Braun Strowman would be great.
I think it would only be great if it was similar to like Shane McMahon versus or RVD versus Undertaker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That was if Braun was just too big, was too physically dominant, but Styles was flying everywhere and he was trying to get him, but Strowman was just beating the crap out of him. I think it would be good, obviously, but I think
have to work around.
Yeah, you'd have to do a certain style of match with it.
Yeah. WWE boy, Strowman needs to beat the shit out of the entire WWE roster. Couldn't agree with you more. Besides the guys we actually like. The height of Kalisto, according to Handsome, is 5'6". That's still 5 inches smaller. No, 4 inches smaller than I am. That's depressing. A-bashing Ash, or A-bathing Ash, whatever. Raw is so terrible. I miss groundbreaking stars. Yeah, I miss everything.
If you want to see groundbreaking stars, tune into the Attitude Era reviews.
Whoa, that's a good plug. Attitude Era. Because that was the shit. And he gave it the last, a 10 out of 10? 10? I bet our boy Cesar would love that. The 10s, obviously not Attitude Era.
No, Cesar would not like the Attitude Era at all. You know what? Freaking Dave Meltzer on his podcast is putting down the Attitude Era on every single one of his shows. He's saying how much better the product is today.
Does he understand the concept of entertainment, or
no? He was trying. He was explaining. I heard a bit of him talking about. Did you hear it on Russo's show? About him talking about the Japanese new the new Japan wrestling league, and all they do, this is a direct quote. All they do is wrestling matches and serious sports interviews, and it's getting an audience, even though it wasn't in the top 150 ratings.
You know what, Dave Meltzer? I must address it right now. Okay, Dave Meltzer is the birth of the mark. So for every Cesar, I must attribute it to Dave Meltzer. This is the same man that once thought WrestleMania 3 was going to be WWE's biggest failure ever. Not only was it their most attended show, it's one of the biggest pay-per-views of all time. This man once gave Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant -4 stars. For what? I have no fucking clue. He is the biggest mark this business has ever seen, and I legit can't stand him. Okay? If you watch this, I don't know if he will. You probably won't. Send a clip. We'll cut it right here. When we used to do this shit back in the day. But Dave Meltzer is wrestling's shot.
Wasting away again in Margaritaville.
Hey, that's a great song, by the way. If you've not heard Vince Russo sing Margaritaville, you got to check it out. Okay, we have to get back to this show.
Bro, I don't care about this store. I was gonna say store. Show.
Store. I wish it was a store. A store has something to offer.
Like I can't understand how people think. Like, how can you be a fan of something that, like, of wrestling in the early 2000s and, you know, the late 90s and even up to, like, let's say 2008 and be a fan of wrestling now? Like, I don't understand the connect.
Well, I don't know how you like both, because it's like it's vastly different.
It's so different. Like, to me, this isn't what I knew as wrestling. Like, this isn't wrestling to me. This is something else. I don't know what it is.
And I even DM'd you. I was like, I've lost my love. And I said wrestling in there. I probably should have clarified just WWE. Then again, all these marks are really hurting on my wrestling thing.
Well, I don't watch anything else because wrestling is so bad right now. Like, if WWE is not good, I'm not watching anything else. Like, that just means everything else is probably not that good. Like,
I can't get into this. It's not entertainment. I don't know who's entertained by the show. Are you not entertained?
I mean, there's segments that I like, which keep me coming back to watch the show. But most of the reason we do it is for the reviews.
Yeah, it's one of the only reasons I do it. If the internet existed, or if the internet did not exist in this age, right? You know how we could just watch the clips on the night after. Like, this would be a reason to watch because I can't watch it on YouTube. But if I wasn't on YouTube doing these reviews, I would just watch the show online and just get the 3 or 4 segments I need to watch there. It's so stupid. R-Truth is backstage. They're talking about their tag team turmoil match that will literally kill the planet in itself because of how long it is. They're going to get their tag team title run. Next up is the tag team.
I will say this: Goldust had genuine emotion in there.
Goldust wanted to win this. It was one of the only things that you could say I cared about, because Goldust, you need to fight for his family. This tag team turmoil was so shit. I don't care about the in-ring in the segment. I'm literally going to give you the results, and we're going to move on. Okay. Cesaro and Sheamus eliminated Enzo and Big Cass first by a submission with a sharpshooter from Cesaro to Enzo Amore. Congratulations. Cesaro and Sheamus then beat Beauty and the Man Beast, Heath Slater and Rhino, by pinfall with a bro kick from Sheamus. Then Cesaro and Sheamus defeated the Club. A heel versus heel match never works. By pinfall with a bro kick to Luke Gallows. And in the very last match, Cesaro and Sheamus win, eliminating Golden Truth, who, by the way, last week were not able to become #1 contenders, but now this week they're so viable they can be the last participants in the turmoil. Makes a lot of sense. With a schoolboy and a handful of tights to become the #1 contenders. After the match, they try to beat up the R-Truth. Hardy Boys go out. Cesaro and Sheamus bail. I did that in about a minute. This match was at least 25 minutes long. I want to stress this. This was 25 minutes long. I listened to Frank Ocean. I went and took out the trash. I did the dishes. And I came back, and the match was still going on. Holy shit. It's like that one match from last year was a 47-minute John Cena Open challenge that accomplished nothing. Who cares? We knew this team was going to be #1 contenders. Do we seriously care? And then to follow that up, the very next thing is Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Now, this has a feud to it, but nobody cares. Especially on the fact that it's on a Raw and not, per se, a pay-per-view. So, you get your mark match of the night. I'm sorry, my voice is kind of messing up here. I'm getting a little sick. This match just goes on and on and on and on. I think I'm getting sick from the product, honestly. I think it's giving me something. Physically ill. They go back and forth.
Dylan, I'm at the point where I don't watch the matches anymore. Unless it's a pay-per-view, I don't watch the matches. And I haven't for a long time. Because first off, a lot of them don't make any sense. Second of all, I don't care about them because there's no storyline involved. And third, I no longer like the majority of the style that happens in the match. There's no selling in the match. It's a bunch of random moves that make no sense. It doesn't make me, believe that this could be a real fight. And it's not my style of wrestling that I grew up on loving. Like when there's occasionally a match, like at WrestleMania, Goldberg versus Lesnar, even Styles versus Shane was great, but we were there at the event. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually thought Strowman Reigns was a good match at the pay-per-view. And I liked the House of Horrors match. But like, it's very rare today where I actually watch a match that I like. It's very, very rare. And that sucks. That sucks a lot.
It's like going to a climax of a movie, and then like for every movie, you're just like, man, that sucked. The beginning was a decent build-up, and it just sucked. Just takes the wind out of you, and I can't stand this. And especially since there's so many matches on Raw, we get too much of it. There's too much wrestling on the show. As many times if we have to say that on the show, there's too much, and it delves on you in how much we get, and it's just repetitive. It's back and forth. Samoa Joe wins the match Seth Rollins wins by disqualification after a turnbuckle spot where the turnbuckle was loose.
Why did these guys wrestle tonight?
Because the fight was so big tonight that they got to settle the things in the ring. That's what I'm guessing. I don't fucking know. This show. Hold on. I think somebody might be here. It's Cesar. Cesar once again. Mitch, I need to tell you this right now. Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins was such a great match. I mean, it was an in-ring classic. Why do you not like this style of wrestling? I mean, it's absolutely tremendous, Mitch. I mean, woo! I just want to know why do you not like the style of wrestling, my dude?
I just don't like it.
I mean, you got great in-ring talent. I mean,
it's not entertaining, man. Nobody sells anymore.
I mean, the kicks. You don't like the flippy shit? I mean, the flippy shit. Oh my god, it's so great, and I mean, I don't. Oh, it's so great.
Cesar, sorry for your quick cameo, but I need to talk to Dylan.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the guy comes in quick. I don't even understand how quick he comes in. And then he leaves that quick?
Jeremy says, you guys take this fake show so seriously. I'm sorry that it appears that way. Actually, it's the exact opposite. I mean, like, it's just that we used to watch a show. It's like watching a TV show. It's probably the same thing. Or like a team that used to be really good and now it's really bad. And you just want to see it be really good again. That's where we're at with it. That's where we're at.
I would like to say this to Jeremy. It's not that I would care more if I was outside, but I have to watch this for 3 hours and then come on here and do a review afterwards. And
yeah,
I want my time to be used accordingly or good. 4 hours a week, plus if I come on SmackDown for another 3, that's 7 hours of the week that could be used to something different. But since I'm here watching Raw and SmackDown, I kind of have to take it at least a little bit seriously. Now, granted, I've taken all my enjoyment out of the show because there is none. I've not enjoyed the show in forever. But since I have to review the show and we're on here constantly talking about it with our group and 2,580 subscribers and
it's at the point where like wrestling has been too big of a part of the rest of our lives where you can't really just like completely forget about it. Like I could stop watching it, but I could never stop talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like I don't care who wins the matches. I don't care what happens on the show. It's not up for me to decide. Like, I just want it to be entertaining, but it's just not. That's why we're here to review the shows. And people like hearing our opinions on it. So that's what we think.
Like last year, I remember when I took a month break after SummerSlam, and I didn't watch any of the shows, but I still kept up with all the information that was going on because you just can't get rid of it. It's almost impossible. I don't want to take it seriously, but I want it to be better, and that's all I'm asking for. We get an announcement that the IC title match is going to be next week between Ambrose and The Miz, but Ambrose is going to first face Bray Wyatt tonight. Jack Gallagher versus TJP. Who the fuck cares? Honestly, all I'm going to say about this match is that TJP wins by by pinfall with a handful of tights. Aries comes in and try to make a save. Who cares about the cruiserweights? Moving on, I don't even think Mitch cares. Alicia Fox versus Sasha Banks. What did this match serve? This match served no point. Sasha wins. Who cares? Main event. I'm literally getting there that quick. Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose. These guys go back and forth. It's the same shit match that we've had all the time between these two, and nobody really cares. Bray doesn't look strong because, again, The Miz comes to help him and distract Ambrose. Ambrose loses by Sister Abigail. Miz announces that Bray's the winner and leaves after beating up Ambrose, and says that he will be the new Intercontinental Champion and be awesome. This show was trash on so many levels. Like, I don't know how to describe how it could be any worse. But then WWE next week will come on here and make it even worse. I give up. Can I give up? Is that an option? Because this show was ass. Negative 10 out of 10. Let's go to some comments to try to cheer me up. I don't know. Let's see here. -5 stars. Yes, that is a great one from my Alvarez Ash. The best Botchamania meme. Mm-hmm. Quark says, I would rather see Bliss versus Banks feud for a while. Bliss is face, Banks is heel. I mean, I can't stand Bailey, so why not? The crowd is so fucking dead too. Depressing. Yes, the crowd is trash. They're always been trash. China winning the Intercontinental Championship versus Jarrett. Never going to happen again. No, because China is China. No one can beat China again.
Who's China? WWE doesn't recognize who that is.
Oh, it's a country. I feel like, she attacked the country of China attacked.
It's so sad. It's the greatest women performer of all time, and they don't even recognize who it is. They don't even care.
They don't know. They don't know.
Like, be a nice person. How about that?
Russo wanted to make her WWE champion. That would have gotten ratings, bro. Ratings. Clemens says, well, WWE is a lot more for kids entertainment. Lucha Underground is great. Well, I mean, I understand it's for kids. It's PG, but it's entertainment. It's a TV show.
How is it for kids when they do a House of Horrors match?
It's weird. Their corporate standards are, here we're PG, but then the content they give you is at least TV-14 sometimes. I don't get it. Does that make a whole lot of sense? The show is written by kids, so I guess that's the PG quote. But I mean, and Clark says in the very next comment, hell, even kids are not into this bullshit. Oh, you're damn right. Jack Gallagher versus Ash Ketchum, of course. Goldberg and Undertaker should have wrestled. Now, that would have been a dope match. I wanted to tell you that. Taker is awesome, and Goldberg is awesome. Probably not in 2017, though, because they're old, especially Taker. But that would have been
Taker would have died. One spear, and he would have been fine.
One spear, and he's like, oh, my God, my fucking back. WWE boy, that should be interesting. The thing about indie wrestlers is that they're good wrestlers. It's just that they don't get much character, and sometimes their matches are slow as fuck. I thought about this in my head, right? Just because you're an indie wrestler does not mean you're bad automatically. We've seen guys like Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, who else has been successful? Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. If you're from the indies, it doesn't mean you're bad, but you have to give me something to the table. All these other indie marks are just coming out here. They're not entertaining. Their wrestling is overrated. They don't cut promos. The character is trash. And to top it all off, their fans swarm us in the comments about how they're so great, But what have they proven? Nothing. So it's not that if you're an indie guy that you're trash. It's how you perform on television. And most of them are pretty trash. So that's how I feel about that.
I just hate how the fans react to them.
It's just their fan base. They just go over here and like they are the greatest wrestler. I mean, I'm telling you what. Cesar will probably talk about it, but he's like, "Oh, Finn Balor's the greatest in the world." Yeah. I'm like, what in 1999? What is Finn Balor gonna do? He might be a low card guy at best. Just saying. Ash is, why is it so boring? We have to look back to the past to enjoy wrestling. Yeah, you're right. Whatever happened to Rusev?
He's coming back. He's hurt.
He better win the WWE title at Money in the Bank, or I'm gonna. Let's see. I can see ratings going down under 2 million before fall season at the direction it's going. If it goes under 2 million, that's really depressing. Like they were at 4 million 2 years ago. Now they could be under 2 million. That's trash. Clemens, what? Take your time to admire the greatness of Alicia Fox and the Boss. Best two eye candies in the business. I mean, Sasha's got a nice.
I'll say this, and I'm echoing
every fucking video. When are we gonna ever get through?
Dylan, can you fix that, bro?
I don't know how to fix an echo.
Just mute. Okay. Hello?
You good?
No, just mute yourself while I'm talking real quick. Okay. So what I wanted to say, Sasha's looking a lot better. I don't know what it is, but I think it might be the hair change, but I think she's looking better. And Alicia is just Alicia. Dime.
Her acting might be trash, but she is nice. I will say that. Why does the crowd still chant CM Punk in 2017? I don't know. And quite frankly,
he's one of the only people that's actually entertaining in the past 5 years.
I get that, and I'm one of the biggest CM Punk fans. But it's been over 3 years. Get the fuck over it.
Because it works. What do you?
CM Punk. Shut the fuck up. WWE boy, this is strictly towards you, Mitch. I don't know if you've ever watched Grimm's Toy Show. Have you? He wants your.
I've seen his video. I've never seen a video of his. But I've seen you know what I mean? I've skimmed by it.
Right. He fits in this Mark mantra.
So what does that exactly mean?
He wants your thoughts. I don't fucking know.
Grimm's Toy Show. I'll get back to you on that, bro.
Next week we'll figure it out. Clark, what is your thoughts on the NBA playoffs? The NBA playoffs are pretty trash until they get to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, because we see a bunch of blowouts. And again, the NBA is rigged because we'll have the Cavaliers and the Warriors again. That's how I'll say that. Let's give grades. I'll make my own drum noise. Mitch, you want to go first for your grade of what you watched?
Yeah, I'll give it a 0.
Oh, I wanted a 0. I'll give it a negative 10 because it was just terrible. Just awful. There's nothing inspiring about the show, nothing good about the show. Boring, bland, repetitive, and terrible. Let's get to some last comments. Ash says, what are your guys' favorite WrestleMania of all time and why? 17. Because it had every character, had every wrestler, everything about it. It was amazing. If I don't want to go for obvious, I got to go for something like 2019 is really good. What's 24? Some pretty good ones out there. And I'm not even going to say the one I just went to.
17 and 19 are my favorites.
Some guy that came into the comments has no idea what the channel is. Have you ever gotten a piece of that puh? The answer is absolutely. Thank you.
Mania 18 says Ash. I love Mania 18 too.
Hogan Rock, baby. I mean, that's the shit right there. You can't get bigger than that. If you ever get a match as big as Hogan Rock again, I might enjoy wrestling again. But
it's never gonna happen. Like if that happens, I hope it happens, but I don't think so.
How old were we when WrestleMania 17 happened? I was currently 1.5, so
I was 7, 6, 7.
6, 7. The thing is that you don't have to be as old.
But I was I grew up on Rock in Austin, so that's probably the reason why I like 17, 19 the most. Rock is like don't mind wrestlers. Like Rock is one of my favorite celebrities, athletes, everything together. Like he's there with Tom Brady. He's The Rock, Tom Brady.
The goats, the two goats. You know what I mean? I grew up a little bit later. I mean, of course, I love Austin. Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, you've seen how many times he's been on the channel. But I'm a CM Punk guy because that's who I kind of grew up on. And yeah, Kurt Angle. I grew up on Kurt Angle as well. That's why he's one of my all-time favorites. Edge, Batista, Taker, all that shit. What about WrestleMania 30? Good show. The Daniel Bryan was really good at the time. Good shit. That's all I say about that.
It's a good show. I think it might be a little overrated, but I think it's good.
Taker Lesnar match was
that was shocking.
It was a shocking moment. We don't get a lot of shocking moments, and except for how shockingly bad these shows are on a weekly basis. Plug City, because I need some Plug City. Mitch, what do you got to plug today?
I got to plug NHL playoff recaps. Actually, we've decided tonight that we are doing myself, Trent, Kev, I think. No, not Kev. Maybe Adam. We're going to be Wednesday night. We're doing Game 7 Penguins Capitals. We're doing a live reaction video. So while I'm watching the Penguins hopefully win, we're going to be doing a reaction to that live. We'll also be doing a recap. And then Tuesday, tomorrow, we are doing the Senators-Rangers recap. Also, coming up, lots of NFL Top 100. The next episode of that will be coming out soon. And a few more videos surrounding that. We're also going to be having a channel meeting to discuss some future things. So stay tuned.
20 by 20 did not come out Saturday, as you've realized. I've been very busy with all the shit that's going outside of my life, but I'm trying to get this video up this week so I can give it to the fans. And you really understand, you've almost watched episode 1 right now, because we talked about how wrestling isn't cool anymore right now. But we do our thing here, and I'm going to continue to make good videos. I'll be on SmackDown tomorrow because I love to torture myself, I guess. What else is going on? The meeting's Thursday. A lot of recaps are coming up. We're going to do recaps for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals for NBA, as well as the NBA finals when they come around. We might even do some live streams of those NBA games or the NBA finals when they come around. So that'll be dope. That's also in the summer. It's going to be a lot more open. Busy schedule. I'm moving out in 2.5 weeks here, and graduation, next month. So we got to celebrate a little bit. We got to get a couple of banger videos before then. So stay tuned. You'll know what's going down. Live reactions, good videos, good content. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Bottom Line View. We give you good sports content from the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB every once in a while, because I'm the only person that watches baseball.
We've never done a baseball video. Don't pretend.
I've done one video on this channel. I did one playoff video for it, okay? So I contain that. Wrestling, if that's still a thing next week, we'll talk about that. Some more entertaining videos, some series, bunch of stuff going down. So WWE Boy, last comment. Actually, we'll get to 2. WWE Boy says Mitch versus Dylan better happen in the future.
There's only one problem. He lives in Texas. I live in Canada. Only one problem. You know what would be actually hilarious if we did the first ever Google Hangout match where we pretended to wrestle through a computer screen.
Now, how that we would really have to work some shit. That would be mind-blowing amazing. Might have to figure that out. And Jeremy Handsome, one last comment from him. How many subscribers are we expecting in the end of 2017? It's an interesting question. I mean,
as many as we could get, bro.
yeah, as many as we could possibly get.
If I'm gonna be accurate, I would probably say, what are we averaging? Like, let me do the math real quick.
We're doing about 200 to 300 a month.
How many months we got left?
Let's count this as a full month, so 7.
7 months. Okay. We're expecting probably 2,000 more subscribers.
So about 40.
Yeah. So around 5,000.
My goal is for 5K. If we got 5K this year, it'd be awesome. And especially considering we started this year under 1,500, and now we're at almost 2,600. So that's crazy. If you haven't shouted out our channel, if you want to give us a little free publicity, that's great, because you stay here and watch these shitty Raw shows and then come on here and enjoy your time here on Raw. Ash says the Mega Powers will live forever. Yes, the Mega Powers will never explode on the Bottom Line View. We're here for entertainment. So for Macho Man Dylan Villa, Hulk Hogan, Mitch Milani, peace.